Can you feel it deep in your bones, Detroit? That electric buzz that makes your heart pound and your fists clench. The kind of energy that whispers this might be the turning point we've been begging for. The moment when the shadows of frustration finally dissolve under the floodlights of promise? Is this the moment that flips the entire narrative of our beloved Lions franchise, dragging us out of the endless off-season doldrums and into the roaring center of the NFL spotlight where we belong? Mash that like button and drop your belief. In the comments if you're ready for the Lions to flip the script, because insider whispers have been crashing through the quiet halls of Ford Field, setting shockwaves that reverberate deep into the heart of the NFC and beyond. Sources close to the team's front office have been murmuring about a seismic shakeup, something so bold, so electrifying, that the very foundation of the Lions' defense could be snapped into a new shape. These aren't your run-of-the-mill trade rumors. These are the kind that make you pause your Sunday pregame ritual, lean in a little closer, and feel your pulse quicken. If this trade talk crystallizes, if the domino falls just right, the NFC North and perhaps the entire league will be left scrambling in the wake of an aggressive Detroit resurgence. The player at the center of this storm? Kayvon Thibodeaux. Yep, that's right. The former number 5 overall pick and one of the most tantalizing edge rushers to hit the league in recent memory. Detroit is reportedly eyeing him as the perfect partner to our own avid Hutchinson, creating what could be a pass-rushing nightmare for offenses across the NFL. Imagine the electricity of Hutchinson on one side, relentless and hungry, combined with Thibodeaux's explosive athleticism and evolving dominance on the other. This isn't just another signing or a middling patch on a flawed defense. It's potentially the defensive ace the Lions have needed to break through their ceiling. This isn't just padding a roster. This is rewriting the playbook of our aspirations. Remember the days when every season felt like a fragile hope flickering behind thick clouds of doubt? The gut-wrenching near misses in the playoffs that left us clutching our chests with disbelief? The long rebuilds that tested our loyalty, draining our patience with each passing year? Think about that storied 1957 defense that almost roared all the way to the promised land, how their legacy still haunts and inspires us. This deal with Thibodeaux could mark the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter where heartbreak is replaced with thunderous celebration, where the Lions roar with authority rather than desperation. And here's where the pitch-perfect crescendo meets the jittery beat of doubt. What if this signing disrupts the fragile locker room chemistry? What if the intense spotlight and high expectations fracture the camaraderie we've been carefully building under Dan Campbell's fiery leadership? Could this dynamic duo ignite a playoff run fiercer and more unforgettable than anything Detroit has seen since Barry Sanders sliced through defenses in his prime? Or might it stumble, becoming another what could have been in a franchise longing for validation? The possibilities swirl around us like a storm unleashing after decades of drought. And as the rumors continue to swell, so does the anticipation. Because if this domino tipples, if Thibodeaux's name officially joins the roar emerging from Ford Field, we could be on the brink of the wildest, most dramatic Lions offseason in history. Detroit, can you feel it? The roar is coming. The transformation is near. And the question remains, how far will this new era take us before the playoffs? Arrive and history is either made or broken. Now listen up, Detroit. If your soul is ready to ignite, like the last seconds ticking down on a fourth-quarter comeback at Ford Field, then you better light up that comment section with your rawest, no-holds-barred predictions, because this isn't just about a player or a trade. It's about shaking the very core of what it means to bleed Honolulu blue and silver. Imagine this. Kayvon Thibodeaux striding onto the grass with Aiden Hutchinson, setting a pass-rushing synergy that blitzes not just quarterbacks, but decades of doubt and disappointment lingering like ghosts in our locker room halls. Could this move be the spark that topples the fragile pecking order in Detroit's dressing room? Will veterans, battle-hardened yet weary from years of near misses, the wild-card losses that crushed our playoff dreams, and the wounds of Caldwell's stubborn regimes welcome this fresh fire, or will there be fractures beneath the surface, clashing ambitions in the shadows? The Lions' locker room chemistry has been a delicate dance. The tenacity of Hutchinson's fiery leadership mingling with the grit and grind of seasoned stalwarts, all trying to silence the echoes of '08 when we barely escaped the cellar. And, of course, those nightmares 0 to 16 memories that still sting like a relentless Detroit winter. Then there's the ripple effect to consider. How will bitter rivals like Green Bay and Minnesota respond when Ford Field starts to rumble with renewed ferocity? The Packers, clutching to their fading dynasty narratives, and the Vikings, always lurking with that fierce, unforgiving edge, are watching. They felt our frustration, our thwarted hopes. But what happens when the Lions' roar transforms from a choked whimper to an unrelenting tide? Could this pivot dismantle their dominance, darken their own hopes, and disrupt the delicate balance of power in the NFC North? Think about the ghosts of Lions past Megatron's breathtaking leaps through NFL history. Barry Sanders' shifty dance through defenses, memories burn bittersweet into our souls. Now envision the potential of this Thibodeaux-Hutchinson combo, rewriting those pages with passion and relentless pursuit, where the playoff drought doesn't just end, but breaks free in a tidal wave of sweep-defining victories and crushing defensive stands. It's a seismic shift not only for our roster, but for our identity. A bold declaration that the Lions are no longer the NFL's punching bag, but its rising thunder. But the story doesn't stop there. This, my friends, is the kind of pivotal moment that either forges legends or fractures fragile dreams. What if the weight of expectation on Thibodeaux's shoulders turns into a headline of regret rather than redemption? If the high-pressure arena of Detroit's unforgiving fan base, hungry for glory yet scarred by failure, overwhelms instead of uplifts? The very essence of our pride, the spectacle of packed stands at Ford Field radiating that unmistakable blue glow, could be tested like never before. Avid Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeaux aren't just players. They're symbols, living beacons of hope after years shackled by mediocrity and crushed playoff hopes. The whispers around the league suggest the dominoes will start to fall fast. Could this monumental move be the key that unlocks the potential of the Lions' entire defense, turning it into a fortress hostile to even the most cunning offenses? And what of the offense? Will this newfound defensive swagger revitalize Goff, empowering him with the confidence to make bold throws reminiscent of Stafford's cannon arm days? Imagine the crescendo of a playoff run so fierce that decades of longing explode into shouts and tears at the buzzer, a wild-card weekend transforming into a baptism by fire where Lions prove, once and for all, that they belong among the NFL's elite. Picture the streets of Detroit erupting in celebration, every neighborhood pulsing with the energy of a city finally liberated from its sports curse. But heed this, every storm carries uncertainty. The risk is death by expectation, a pressure that could unravel the very fabric of the squad's fragile unity. Will Campbell's gritty, fiery coaching temper the heat, blending youthful ferocity with hard-earned wisdom to mold this potential super team? Or will it all come crashing down before we even reach the crucible moments of January football? The city is watching, waiting, aching for proof that this isn't another Detroit mirage, another cruel tease buried deep in off-season rumors and wishful thinking. So I ask you now, fanatics of the Motor City, can you hear the growl rising from beneath the surface, louder than ever before? Can you see the silhouettes of Hutchinson and Thibodeaux crashing through offensive lines, like thunderclaps ripping the autumn air, shaking the very foundations of this league? The Lions have carried the weight of heartbreak like an old scar. But now, here on the edge of history, this could be the moment when that scar transforms not into a wound, but into a badge of battle-hardened glory. So, what do you say, Detroit? Are we ready to leap into the fire, to roar against the odds and rewrite the story that's been written in trial and pain for so long? Ford Field is waiting, its lights shining like beacons calling us forward. The question isn't if this moment will happen. It's whether we have the guts to seize it, to roar back at fate with every ounce of tenacity and heart that defines us. Because, brothers and sisters, the roar that's coming will echo through history. Will you be there to answer it?